Hey, Thomas Bartke here with the Audiohost ShowPlayer app, and I'm going to show you today here how to use the Focusrite Scarlett audio MIDI interface to connect your iPad or iPhone that is running the app to a digital board that is accepting audio input and MIDI signals that you can use to control the mic mutes and unmutes. And that is exactly what the app does. So I'm going to show you here how to hook this up. Focusrite, this particular model of the Scarlett here is Scarlett 4i4, and this is the third generation. They're now on the fourth generation. And this is a widespread and very popular audio MIDI interface that many theaters already have. If you're not using this already, you might consider using it or getting one because they're really cool and very reliable. So they put through both audio and MIDI, and I'm going to show you right now how to hook them all together. Just so we're clear on the devices that you see here, the kind of cable mess that I've created. This here is an older iPad that has a lightning adapter, or a lightning port, I should say. And this adapter here is called a camera adapter. The camera adapter replicates the lightning port so you can keep the iPad charged and the connection powered while you're using it. And then this here is a USB connection, standard USB plug that goes in here. And in this case, I have this connected to this powered USB hub. This is an Anchor powered USB hub that just makes sure that the connection is reliable and that it's always reliably powered. This is a powered USB hub. It has this little battery icon here that allows you to charge it. Now, we're going to plug the Focusrite USB into any of these ports over here in the USB hub. And I'm going to show you what happens on the front here while I'm plugging this in, making the connection. Right now it lights up, and then this connection icon here stays lit. And over here on the iPad, you get a prompt that informs you that Scarlett 4i4 USB audio was discovered and is now going to be used. This is purely dependent on the system of the iPad in this case, recognizing this audio route and automatically switching to it and using it. So the app just piggybacks on that and uses it as well. So now everything is connected. Let me show you what is going on the actual interface and how to connect it to the board. In our case, the board that we're using here is a Behringer X32, but it's quite irrelevant what kind of board it is, as long as it's a digital console that accepts MIDI signals through a standard DIN MIDI port to control mic mutes and unmute settings. Okay, so let's go back to the Focusrite. 4i4 tells you that it has 4 inputs and 4 outputs. The 2 of the inputs are in the front. These are inputs that can be used for both mics and line level inputs. And then on the back, I'm just gonna see if I can turn this around a little bit here. There you go. On the back are 2 more line input connectors right here, and then there are 4 line output connectors, right? They're numbered. 1, 2 isn't really visible here, and then 3 and 4, and I'm connecting only the first 2 here, 1 and 2, to the board. And then over here you have the standard DIN MIDI port connectors, and you have an in and an out. You're only going to be sending MIDI data from the Focusrite to the board, so we only connect the out. And then here's the USB connector. There's no power connector on the Focusrite. It gets powered through the USB connection, which is why we recommend that you use this powered USB hub in between so that you don't run into limitations on the device side here on the iPad or on your iPhone. It can work without the hub, but it's just a safer connection, safer play, since you want to build for reliability here in your production. You don't want to run a chance with that. All right, so on the side of the board, and again, it doesn't really matter which board it is, but on the side of the board, what it looks like here is the audio connection is connected over here. I've put it into aux in 5 and 6, right? And then my MIDI connection is over here, MIDI, and you can see here in and out, and this plug is in is going into the in port because it's coming from the Focusrite into the board. All right, so these are the physical connections. Now there is one other connection here that I want to make sure that is set properly, and that is in the settings. So we go into setup and we're going to tap over to the remote tab. So if you're over on the global tab, this is kind of like the initial tab that it goes to. If it comes up here, then you just have to use the arrow key here to tap over until you get to the remote tab. And then here is the important setting. You want to make sure that MIDI in out is selected. That tells the board that we're sending MIDI through this connection there and to listen to it there. You also have to have the MIDI receive types selected here. Mute and program change should be selected, but they're usually all selected. Okay, so make sure this is selected. If it's not ticked like this, then the board is not going to look for the MIDI information that we're sending. So turn this on. All right, now all the connections are set and the settings are set on this end. There's one more thing that I need to tell you about, and that is the internal settings that are relevant depending on how your board sees the MIDI information. Okay, here I'll show you. There are two settings. So you go into the burger menu here, then you tap on settings, and then here are the MIDI device config settings. So you see the Scarlett is already identified here and selected. And the two settings I want to walk you through here real quick is mute polarity and mute controller number. Okay, so mute polarity has something to do with the fact that different types of boards and different producers, different manufacturers of digital consoles have inverted the meaning of that parameter. So for example, the Yamaha QL5 and CL5 and this type of console in this company, it actually has the button that turns the mics on and off. It's called on. It's literally an on button on the board, whereas the Behringer and Midas boards have mute switches. Okay, so just by simply the naming of these buttons, the whole thing kind of gets inverted, right? If you turn a button, the on button on, the mic is unmuted, but if you can turn the mute button on, the mic is muted, all right? So that's why we need to have a way to adapt to that, and that is the parameter of the mute polarity. So mute polarity in the Behringer case has to be mic on sense 0, and the opposite is mic on sense 127. The numbers don't matter. It's just that you telling the app what the board expects if mute is on is mic on or mic off, right? So it's a little bit confusing because it's so that's why we send here mic on sends this value. So just remember, or you can also just test it out, and if it's going in the opposite direction than you expect, then you know how to get back here and set it correctly. The mute controller number is 2 on the Behringer. I'll leave a list of mute controller numbers for different board types in the description of this video, so you don't have to remember that. But for the Behringer, it's 2, all right? Okay, so that's it for the settings, and now you should be in a position to just actually test here in the live mic switchboard if the mic mutes are going to work. So we tap on 1, we go back over to the board, and we see that mic 1, channel 1 has been unmuted, right? So we know the polarity is correct. So now, if we simply just play the song here, I'm in the production of Matilda Jr. that I've set up here currently. And down here, so this here is a song that has Miss Honey is a solo here. You can see the first MIDI cue in the list has Honey solo, and it happens right at the beginning of the song. So as soon as I start playing here, I expect this audio to get to the board, and the MIDI is going to adjust the settings so that only Miss Honey is unmuted. I'm just gonna actually leave number 1 unmuted here, even though it shouldn't be unmuted, so you can see that it will actually also adjust that channel as well. So let's hit go down here. Let me zoom out a little bit more. So let's hit and go ahead and watch the mics there. I mean, there you go. So it switched. It turned 1 off and 7 on. Let's turn this down a little bit here on the Scarlett, and let's go over here to the board and see if that actually happened. 1 is turned off and mic 7 is now turned on. All right, so this is how it works. And yeah, so the app, during the songs where you have a timeline slider over here, all the mic cues that are here, the MIDI cues, are automatically triggered to the timeline. So if I'm way back here at about 1:30, I'm going to get almost to the end of the song, and then this library dialog will be triggered and we will jump to the next scene right here, and the mic is now set, or the mics are set now for the library dialog. This is Matilda and Miss Phelps, and let's check on the board. Matilda is unmuted, Miss Honey is muted, and 13 is unmuted for Miss Phelps. Very good, so that's working. So if you would like to hook up any board to this in this construction here, in this constellation with the Focusrite, it will work wonderfully. The MIDI information gets through to the board and the audio plays on the board as well. And this is all going through the same singular connection here with the Lightning connector through the MIDI port to the Focusrite, and then audio and MIDI into the board. So this is it. The app is available for early access. If you're interested, go to audiohost.com. And if you're in a production of Matilda Jr. or have that coming up, feel free to inquire. I'd be happy to let you use the ready set up whole production here, so you can automate everything. It'll take a huge load off your team's timeline, the time requirements, and will also make your performances much more reliable. All right, thanks a lot for watching. This is Thomas Bartke signing off.